Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back. This isn't Blunt Impact, sort of a special, sort of a roundtable. We are covering Under Siege that just happened on this Saturday, the past Saturday that just came by. I am your boy, Chris G, of course, usually joined by my two co-hosts, the three time, three-time baby making champion Ness. He is unfortunately out because of an emergency. And I am not joined by Mary Jane, but she is here in some type of form or fashion, some type of spirit. She's around. Don't worry, she's never too far gone. We are covering Impact Wrestling Under Siege. Great, very good show, very great show. We want to apologize for not having a Blunt Impact episode for this week. We're just going to tie some of those things that happened on the previous episode that go into Under Siege. We'll tie them all together, make sure we get through all those points. But before we get into it, we want to remind everybody at home, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment, throw us some ultra chats. I will be more than willing to read your comments on here. Let me know how'd you feel about the show, how'd you feel about some of the matches, how you feel about me. If you don't like me, put it in the ultra chat. It's fine. Of course, you want to subscribe, hit that button, make sure you are part of the True Heel Heat family. A lot to get into on this episode or this Impact Plus special. We are going to start with, I guess, what everybody's been looking forward to for the last month or so. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, the Elite, going up against the Impact Tag Team Champions, FinJuice, with Eddie Edwards. I like this match. It was a very weird match, I guess. I wasn't used to, or how can I say this? I didn't think the baby faces were going to be as dominating as they were. The faces seemed to dominate Carl Anderson, the Good Bros in the first half of the match. We had some nice hot tags by Finley, by Eddie Edwards towards the end of the match as well. Kenny Omega, of course, going into God mode eventually, hitting knee triggers left and right, hitting people with snap, tiger suplexes, dragon suplexes, any type of suplex you could think of. Kenny Omega, by God, he will hit you with it. Just a lot of back and forth. Eventually turned into a little car crash. But after Eddie Edwards' hot tag, FinJuice takes out Kenny Omega and Gallows on the outside. Eddie Edwards hits the Boston Tea Party for the win on Carl Anderson. Very good match. I was interested in the interaction between Kenny Omega and Eddie Edwards. That seemed to be like the best exchange out of everybody here. Of course, we want to see FinJuice and Good Bros mix it up too, but it was nice to see Kenny mix it in there with Eddie. And I'm looking forward to Kenny's next match, or all these guys' next match, really. But I'm really looking forward to Kenny's next match. Because speaking of Kenny's next match, for the next match, we will be getting into who will be the number one contender to Kenny Omega's Impact World Championship. I'm not a star rating guy, but I did star ratings for this. I gave this match 3.25 stars. Could have got a lot more, but was pretty solid from what we got. But going on to the Impact, the number one contenders match for the Impact World Championship. We had 6 guys on the last episode of Impact Wrestling. They mixed it up in the tag team match. They had a 6-man tag team match, 3-on-3. We had the Heels, Moose, Chris Bay, and Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel, Matt Cardona, and Chris Sabin. Basically a precursor to what this main event will be, because this was the main event of Under Siege. Sami had won and gotten the W for his team on Impact. He had the momentum, and that seemed to worry Don Callis. Don Callis had a worried face, a worried look on his face as we closed out Impact Wrestling. So going into Under Siege, we get the 6-man scramble. We get Sami Callihan versus Chris Bay versus Chris Sabin versus Matt Cardona versus Trey Miguel versus Moose. Of course, it was a car crash eventually. It actually started off kind of slow. We just got a lot of back and forth, in and out, one-on-one exchanges. Moose looking strong as usual. Bay just looking as smooth as Chris Bay can in the ring. Sami Callihan, how can you doubt his ability to be a piece of shit? Just great heel tactics, low blows, weapons, whatever you can think of. This is a no disqualification match, of course. Trey Miguel looking great with his innovative offense. Chris Sabin bringing that veteranship, that much-needed veteranship into a match like this. And Matt Cardona, well, he was being Matt Cardona. But anyway, we get a nice exchanges between these guys. Trey Miguel and Chris Bay had a nice exchange. I remember that one. And they had a nice little double front flip over the ropes to the outside onto the pile. Just a nice little spot. We didn't get a lot of crazy spots in this match. I thought we would have got a little bit more considering, Impact six mans usually break down and get a little chaotic. But this one was a lot more structured. Sammy breaks up a pin where Chris Bay hits a nice splash on Moose. He goes for the cover. Sammy breaks it up with the chair. What an asshole. The Good Brothers take out Sammy because they see him as a threat. Don Callis sees him as a threat, as we seen at the end of that Impact episode. So Sammy Callahan is taken out of the match, basically. Moose pulls the ref out after Chris Sabin gets a close pinfall on I believe, Chris Bay. Moose just works on Chris Sabin, hits him with 2 shoulder tackles to the surgically repaired knee that he had, I believe he tore 2 or 3 times. And then Moose finally hits the spear. No jackhammer needed. He gets the win. He is going on to face Kenny Omega. I believe at Slammiversary is when he will be putting up the title against Moose. I gave this match 3.25 stars, and I am a little iffy about this. If you know me, if you watch Blunt Impact, you know how much of a Moose mark I am, and I think he is ready for that main event spot. But I am really enjoying Kenny Omega as Impact World Champion. I think they have endless possibilities. I wanted to see some of those possibilities come to fruition first. Maybe a one-on-one with Chris Bay or even Eddie Edwards, Chris Sabin, some guys along that line, maybe Ace Austin, whoever. Just to throw Moose right out there, like as the next contender, it feels kind of rushed, but at the same time, I'm here for it. I want Moose to be the guy. So I will definitely be looking forward to that match. Next up, we're going to go back to the beginning of this card. We have Brian Myers opening up the show against Black Taurus in the early Impact Wrestling episode. Brian Myers took on his tag team partner, Crazy Steve. Nothing crazy. Black Taurus gets ejected during the match, and Brian Myers cheats. He puts his feet on the rope to get the win over Crazy Steve. Taurus comes out, beats him down. This sets up the match. Rosemary, she got the Brujeria cards going around. She drops it on Brian Myers. Looks like we're going to have a little feud. But we get to Under Siege. It is Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. This match surprisingly got good amount of time. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. It was actually a pretty good back and forth match. Black Taurus is explosive. Brian Myers really starting to flourish as a heel character. It seems like he's clicking on all cylinders for the first time I've ever seen Brian Myers click on all cylinders. So it's kind of cool to see. He hits him with a weak ass roster cut, but Black Taurus sold it great. Actually made it look like a hard lariat of some type. So down goes Black Taurus. Brian Myers gets the win. I rate this match 2 3/4 stars. I like what Brian Myers is doing. He's continuing to look better as they keep giving him these big matches on pay-per-views or specials. So he might be a heel to build around, going into the future. They need to build up more heels in Impact, I think. So for whether it's the X Division, World Heavyweight Division, Tag Team Division, you can't go wrong with more heels. So kudos to Brian Myers and kudos to Black Taurus, of course, being that explosive counterpart. No ultra chats? Come on, guys. Drop the ultra chats. I want to read some ultra chats. I never got to say that before. I finally got to say, come on, let me read it. Next up, we have Taylor Wilde. She is tagging with Tenille Dashwood, and they are going up against Susan Kimberly. On the last episode of Impact Wrestling, Susan went to Scott D'Amore's office and requested this match because she had photographic evidence that Tenille Dashwood cheated in Susan's match against Taylor Wilde, which Taylor won. Taylor wasn't appreciative of that. She doesn't roll like that. But we get this tag team showdown. Anyway, Taylor and Tenille actually looking cohesive as a tag team for a short part of the match. It was a really short match, back and forth, nothing crazy. It was more story driven. We have Kimberly distracting the ref, and while she's distracting the ref, Caleb with the K neck brace on and all, he hits a little Pele kick on Susan as she goes to the outside. Yes, Yes, that is not condoned. We don't condone that. But he did kick her. Taylor gets the win after hitting the finisher. She seems confused. One, how did Susan get hurt? Two, why is Tennille acting like she did anything in the fucking match? She's raising her hand. She's going around. She's parading. Yeah, we won. I'm the greatest. Taking selfies. She didn't do anything. She didn't do a damn thing. Taylor Wilde pretty much held this down. So I'm still liking this dynamic with Tennille and Taylor, though, this whole confusion and just like, are we friends? Are we frenemies? Or what's going to happen between us? I dig it. The match was what it was. I gave it 2 stars, but I'm excited to see where this little story goes in the women's knockouts division. You know, we can't talk about Impact Wrestling or anything Impact related without talking about our or my favorite segment of Impact Wrestling. Swingers Palace, Daddy. We had Swingers Palace on Impact Wrestling. Alicia Edwards is now Swingerella because she got to pay off that debt. She's a gambling degenerate. Eddie Edwards puts himself through whatever he can put himself through to get that paper, and Alicia just spends it and gives it to Johnny Bravo so Bravo could give it to Swinger. And now she got to work off the debt. It's fine. They're looking at the tag match odds because for Under Siege, we are going to have a tag team match. 4 different teams, #1 contenders match for the tag titles. It is Ace Austin with Madman Fulton going up against Triple XL, Larry D and AC Romero, going up against Rohit Raju and Shera, and they are going up against TJP and Petey Williams. Another match, a lot of in and out, a lot of one-on-one exchanges, not the typical 8-man car crash you would really think this would turn out to be. I think TJP and Ace Austin had a nice little interaction, one-on-one exchange, but of course that goes back to their X Division rivalry. We know they have good chemistry already. Triple XL actually looked decent though. Out of all the tag teams, they seemed the most cohesive. There wasn't a lot of tag team going around in this match. A lot of one-on-one exchanges. I thought a little too much for my taste. There's a tag team match. I want to see more tag team cohesiveness. But as much as Triple XL looked good, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton capitalized at the end, and they are the #1 contenders to the tag team titles that are held by none other than FinJuice. I gave this match 2.25 stars. Could have been better. Wasn't terrible. 8 guys, 4 tag teams. You just expect more of a car crash. I like the car crash aspect. Didn't get as much of a car crash as I wanted to, so kind of brought the rating down. But I did still enjoy the match. Next up, we are going to talk about Willie Mack versus W Morrissey, or as I just like to call him, Morrissey. I don't like the W. It's crazy that both of these guys, both their initials are WM, but that's just Mary Jane and me talking. Before we get into this match, we just have a quick squash kind of that happened on Impact Wrestling with Willie Mack, where he took out Sam Beal. Sam Beal had previously challenged Morrissey as well, and he got beat up by Morrissey, so he's just getting beat up by everybody. But yes, Willie Mack versus Morrissey. Mack starts off hot. He got that fire in him. He's trying to break down Morrissey fast, but eventually, Morrissey, that strength, man, that size is just too much to overcome. He gets him in an awkward position by the ropes, and he just kicks his face into next week, falls out into the outside, and pretty much from that point on, Morrissey dominates Willie Mack. We have a nice little comeback attempt by Willie Mack. He hits a stunner and a few other moves. He's trying to make that comeback, but he just can't do it. Morrissey's just too strong, man. Big strikes, big power moves. I gave this match only 2.25 stars, but you know what? It accomplished its mission. It made Morrissey look strong. It made him look strong against a capable opponent. I want to just see them keep building him. This guy deserves a second chance. He looks like he's in great shape. He looks like he got his shit together. Let's just keep building him up to be a monster, and let's see how far we can go with Morrissey. We are flying by this. It's been a while since I've done a review, Dolo. This is flying by. Next up, we have Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellerling, your knockout tag team champions. They are putting up their titles against Fire Flavor. Now, the last few weeks of Impact Wrestling, there's been a lot of rumor and innuendo, I guess, going around, talking about Jordan Grace. Is she the weak link of this tag team? She had a match on BTI before the last Impact Wrestling episode where she lost to Tasha Steelz because, well, Tasha just got the better of her. She kind of doubted herself, but Ellering gave her a pep talk. She got her back. She wants her to get her confidence, get her swagger back. So this brings us here to Under Siege, where we have this tag team title match. Good match. Grace and Ellering dominate the first half of the match. Fire and Flavor turns the tables. It turns into a really nice back and forth. Just the ladies. Good tag team work by both teams, trying to get the upper hand on each other. But eventually, Fire and Flavor just gets the upper hand on Grace. They eliminate Rachel Ellering from the equation. They hit a couple tag team moves on Jordynne Grace, and they get the win to recapture their tag team titles. I will say I'm surprised. I thought Grace and Ellering were going to get a bigger run here, but Grace did just re-sign a multi-year deal. I'm sure there's another singles run in that multi-year deal. So I can see this setting up potentially a Jordynne Grace heel turn on Rachel Ellering. Her and Ellering will be a good feud. It will be a good way to introduce Ellering as a singles competitor in her first big feud on Impact. And a Grace heel turn, I think, is needed at this point. Shout out to Romeo Anthony Colon, my man. But other than that, I gave this match 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. And I do enjoy Fire and Flavor as a tag team. So I'm here for a second title run. Keep them together. Let's keep these titles still feeling important, unlike other companies. But this feels good. This feels good. I liked it. Speaking of titles, we have another title match. It is Josh Alexander. He is putting his X Division title against El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo won a 6-man qualifying match the other day on Impact Wrestling, where he had a bunch of 6 spots. He did a old school like Undertaker, where he gets on the ropes and walks around the ropes doing his little Bullet Club shit, and then he picked up one of these dudes, I believe it was Ace Austin, put him on his shoulders and hit a Death Valley driver from the top rope onto the pile while doing the old school with TJP. Nice spot that I haven't really seen before, and just made me more hyped for this match. Fortunately for me, I wanted a lot more from this match. It was a good match, solid back and forth again. Very good clash styles. Just Josh Alexander's technicality and his power up against El Phantasmo's creativity, his speed, and just him being a piece of shit. Just trying to pull out all the tricks, trying to use the ropes and tell the ref distraction, whatever he can do to try to get the upper hand on Josh Alexander. That's what he does. But it is not enough. Josh Alexander eventually hits divine intervention, which is his finisher, kind of like a Jay Driller, and he gets the win. He is your X Division champion still. I gave this match 3.5 stars. Was my favorite match. I'll get into that afterwards, but definitely. Maybe just because I know what these guys are capable of, I feel like a little bit more time, it could have been better, but still enjoyed it. Still a very enjoyable match. If I had to say, pick one match from this night that you want to watch, I would suggest this match. We have to go back to Swingers Palace. We get another Swingers Palace, Daddy, so we're gonna have to talk about it. Nothing crazy. I just want to mention that he kicks out Triple XL for trying to start shit on Impact Wrestling on the prior episode. Before this whole tag team match happened. They're not welcome at Swingers Palace anymore. They officially been banned. I mean, he's kind of discriminating. It's against the laws, but at the same time, it's an illegal casino, so you can't really do shit like that. They're out of here, Daddy. That's it. And he tells his security, Senor Hernandaddy, got to get them out of here, cuz. And that's what he does. He gets them out of there because he is a true bouncer. Always got to talk about Swingers Palace. Always. Now, we can go on to bigger and better things. It is the Knockouts Championship on the line. It is Deonna Purrazzo defending against Havoc. Havoc won a number 1 contenders match last episode against Rosemary, which what I thought was a really solid match. Definitely one of the matches. It wasn't a lot to it, but it was just hard-hitting and fast, and I liked it. But this match, not hard-hitting and fast. A lot of Deonna working the arm, trying to break down Havoc. Havoc using her power, her size, her strength to try to fight off Deonna, trying to break her down. But it's not enough. Deonna just using her savviness, her technicality, just eventually getting that armbar in after a distraction, of course, because you got Susan and Kimberly out there distracting the ref, trying to do their best to help Deanna. Havoc gets mad, takes both of them out. But because of that distraction and because her arm was worked on the whole time, the armbar does it. She taps out. Solid match. Um, for how limited Havoc is and what she can and can't do in the ring, she did a lot with Deanna. Deanna gave her a lot. They looked really good together. And I enjoyed this match. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. I can't really say nothing bad about this match. It's just, where do you go from here with Deanna? How many contenders do you really have left for her? But at the same time, it doesn't feel like Havoc was the woman to knock her off. So I get it. I get it. I'm going to read a comment. We got my man Christ Voorhees. Moose is getting his shot at against all odds for some reason. I wish it was Slammiversary. Thank you for that correction. I thought it was Slammiversary. I would have preferred Slammiversary. It just feels like a bigger show. But because it's not happening in Slammiversary, and I think Moose is the guy that will take the title off of Kenny, I think there's going to be a dirty finish, maybe a distraction or a run-in. You got things going on with Sammy now going on. So maybe this is just setting up for another bigger match at Slammiversary. So thank you, Chris, however we pronounce your name. I pronounce it Christ. Thank you for that comment. More comments, please. Keeping it current. Chris G riding solo. We all miss Mary Jane. Brother, you have no idea. We all miss Mary Jane. And I appreciate the support in the comments. Next up, we are going to have to go on. Unless that's it. That's it. We've done everything. We flew through this. We did the whole card. How about this? Keeping it current. My match of the night was the 6-man. The Elite don't miss with the multi-man matches. They can make anybody look good. They literally have a match with 3 mop sticks, no mop heads, just the sticks, and 4 stars, 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome. That's just how it is. They're that good. You got Kenny, by God, Omega, and the Good Brothers. One of the greatest tag teams going around right now. Can't go wrong with that. My match of the night, though, since we are going into match of the night, I will go with the X Division match. The X Division match was, even though I wanted more, I felt like that had the most action to it. And I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I had the best action to it. But the match, the 6-man was pretty good. I know I seen another comment in there from my man Romeo Anthony Colon. The sooner the better on this Omega title defense. He could come back at Slammiversary to defend it again after he beats Moose. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, I think Moose is the guy to take the title off him. So, I think it's a little too fast, too soon. Too soon. Whatever the saying, however the saying goes. I think this should have been waited out a little bit. We could have had plenty of challenges, even for against all odds. We could have had Sammy win this, or we could have had Trey. We could have had another baby face. However they go with this, I'm sure it'll work out. They've been doing it so far. MVP. There was a lot of good to go around on this show, but for the MVPs, I'm going to have to go with FinJuice and Eddie Edwards, co-MVPs, because they brought some, even though FinJuice technically is an Impact tag team, they are the champions, and they did bring some pride and prestige back to Impact. Eddie Edwards technically getting the win over the champion, even though he didn't pin him, just puts more momentum behind Impact Wrestling as a company, even though they didn't really like their champion. So that's always a good thing to see some camaraderie. We need to see more camaraderie and more. I want to see more fire out of the Impact Wrestling roster. LVP, or as I like to say it, jabronis of the night. It's 2 of them. It's Triple XL. You guys look good in the tag match, but you got kicked out of an illegal casino. You got banned from an illegal casino. It's like being banned from a McDonald's, for stealing a McChicken. Like, come on, man. How are you not jabronis after that? I'm trying to make my way to Swingers Palace sooner or later. Keeping it current, my MVP was Josh Alexander. Loving his X Division title run. I want Chris Bay to be next. I agree. I am digging this X Division title run as well. Chris Bay does deserve it, but I think there's better things in his future. But I wouldn't be mad if he was an X Division champion again. So yeah, you can do a lot of things with those two guys, but they're both killing it right now. So I hope they keep going. Romeo Anthony Colon, I see Omega losing in a triple threat match at Slammiversary where he doesn't get pinned. I can see that too, but I'd rather it not happen. I think if you want, the whole goal of this partnership is to have Impact Wrestling looking bigger and better out of the end of it. AEW is always, it's going to look good regardless of either way you go. You need to have an established star go over Kenny Omega 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle. And I think it's Moose, or should be Moose. So whether Moose gets the belt with a triple threat, whatever, I don't think that's the way they should go. Or whoever gets the belt, if they go get it through a triple threat, I believe it should be one-on-one, 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle. It won't hurt Kenny. It's fine. Tara Catherine, I don't always watch Impact, but Omega being there has made me more interested. Tara, I want to thank you for being living proof that Kenny Omega, by God, the God himself, does in fact bring eyes to Impact Wrestling. So thank you for that, because there's some people out there that still don't believe it, and I just don't know what they're doing, what they're watching. Can't comprehend it. Keeping it current, Omega beats Eddie Edwards at Slammiversary, and then Samoa Joe or Okada comes out. Chills. Ooh, that's more than chills. I might shit myself if Okada comes out, man. Slammiversary, we did get a Slammiversary package on last episode of Impact Wrestling where we did see Samoa Joe, Okada, Mickie James, and Chelsea Green in the package. I would be surprised if Okada came, but the other three kind of leaning towards them coming actually. So, but Okada coming out, challenging Kenny or for the belt, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Well, all right, guys, that was a fun one. This was a fun Impact special to get through. I want to put my thumbs out, and I'm going to give you guys a thumb in the middle, thumbs down, thumbs up, and I'm going to let you know how I felt about this show in 3, 2, 1, thumbs up. I gave this show 7.5 out of 10. I liked everything about it. They didn't really have a lot of down points. I felt like some of the matches could be better, but still a solid show, solid main event, solid action with the Elite versus FinJuice and Eddie Edwards, and just a good, well-structured card throughout. Keeping it current with another comment, Tommy Dreamer confirmed on Busted Open Radio that there will be more New Japan Pro Wrestling talent at Slammiversary, which is good. New Japan Pro Wrestling talent is amazing. Okada himself said he was open to coming back to Impact Wrestling, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. Don't want to hold my breath. Especially when not Mary Jane. When she's around, I can't hold my breath. Absolutely not. I'll be choking all episode. But thank you guys, everybody at home, watching along with me, catching this review for Impact Wrestling's Under Siege. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. I want to remind you guys, please like this video, share, you drop those comments. I appreciate it. I want you to subscribe, hit that button. Christ Voorhees, who do you see beating Kenny Omega for the title? I see Moose. Those are antlers, right? Those are supposed to be antlers. My man Moose is going to take the title. Don't think it's going to be at against all odds, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it will be a dirty finish and we get something else at Slammiversary. I don't know. I think against all odds isn't the platform to change the titles. But if you are going to change the titles, I think the one that has to do it, you got to give it to Moose, man. It's his time. So I hope he is eventually the Impact champion. You guys can find me at True Heel, Chris G. You can find me here on the YouTube channel, True Heel Heat, doing NX3 with Romeo Anthony Colon and my man, the 3-time baby making champion Ness. We also do Blunt Impact, and we do Joints and Jabronis. We'll be coming out with an episode of that in a few weeks for your boy Chris G's birthday. It's coming up. So we're gonna have a nice Joints and Jabronis for my birthday. And you guys are all invited to watch that with us. You could also hear me on True Toxicity when we come back from break. Right now, we're just chilling out. We're working all this wrestling in. We're getting hyped up. The Forbidden Doors kicked open. We got everything going on. I encourage everybody later tonight. We are going live after WrestleMania Backlash. We want you guys to join us so we can review that too. It will be a fun one. I might even show up with Mary Jane. Who knows? Slice Boogie on the Impact recap. Thank you, the good brother John Paul Martin, our very own Stat King. Belated happy birthday to him as well. He calls me Slice Boogie. If you don't know who Slice Boogie is, it's a thing called Google. Type it up. I am him. He is me. We have not been in the same room ever. You have never seen us. So, for Mary Jane, for the three-time baby making championess who are not here with me, thank you guys once again for catching this special with us. We will see you guys down the road. Catch that WrestleMania Backlash roundtable tonight. We'll see you guys next time. Peace, everybody.